either A, the Democrats are literally the stupidest people on the planet, which is possible, highly possible,
Look, that's likely.
or they are actually evil. Whoever replaces McCarthy is going to say the Democrats are not going to help me. They're going to stab me in the back if I compromise with them at all.
Right. Yeah.
They're just making it so that whoever replaces McCarthy 100% has to listen to Matt Gaetz and these, 8 people.
Yeah, it has to be party line votes from here on out. Yeah.
There's like Matt Gaetz as the Joker and his 8 little henchmen are holding the entire Republican House hostage, and the Democrats are just sitting there eating popcorn, letting it happen because they don't care.
Hey now!
So just now, while we were talking, right. McCarthy's gone. Did you know that, Adam? He's out.
No, you're kidding me.
I'm
really?
Not kidding. He's gone, baby.
Look, he was winning the vote. Look, you're
no, he wasn't.
Really?
He was not winning anything.
Look, he was winning the vote. Last I saw, they were talking about it. You're really?
He's done. He's out of here.
How really?
Yes. Okay. So to explain kind of what's
happening. Matt Gaetz did it. Okay, go ahead. Give the background. Look, I'm shocked. I'm literally shocked right now.
Okay. So he's shell-shocked. Kevin McCarthy is the Speaker of the House for the Republicans. The Republicans are the majority, so they have the speakership. So it's a very slim majority in the House. And Kevin McCarthy was chosen to be the House leader, and part of him being chosen, he agreed to some very, very, very stupid stipulations.
Yes,
and
he
one
did.
of the very stupid stipulations was normally, if you want to oust the leader of the House, it would require a majority vote just to even bring it up, in the first place. And so he agreed instead to have some rule where literally one person, a single person, could decide to bring up a vote to oust the leader, and that was it. And he agreed to this stupid rule change. And so that's exactly what happened here. Matt Gaetz, who's on screen, the guy who looks like Joker from the original movie before he got Joker-fied.
What do you mean after he got Joker?
I guess he looks like after he got Joker-fied, but without the white face paint.
Right. Yeah.
Like when Jack Nicholson was like painting his face pink to try to still look human.
That's totally him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Matt Gaetz. Yeah. He's got a weird looking face. I don't know what's up with him. But anyway, so that's exactly what happened here. Matt Gaetz, and I believe they're called the Freedom Caucus. Some people that don't like them call them the Chaos Caucus, who are like some of the more extreme right-wing people in the party at the moment, were very, very upset that Matt Gaetz passed the debt ceiling, and very upset that very recently there's all this rumors, all this speculation. Oh my God, there's going to be a government shutdown. Right? That was coming up. There's going to be a government shutdown. Oh my God, there's going to be a massive government shutdown. People in the military aren't going to get paid. People in any sort of government job aren't going to get paid. A lot of government services are going to go into the toilet. Everything's going down because these evil, dirty Republicans are not going to pass a budget. And wouldn't you know it, McCarthy and the rest of the Republicans in the House end up agreeing to pass some kind of budget. And this really, really triggered Matt Gaetz. And so Matt Gaetz decided that today is the day he was going to try to oust McCarthy.
Right.
And he succeeded.
So this was like a last minute thing. I was watching. They were doing a vote, and Matt Gaetz, Kevin McCarthy was ahead in the vote last I looked, and they were also doing speaking. And the rant that we had before the live stream began was just, it drives me insane when they bring up the debt and how we're on a road to financial ruin, when I don't think that's remotely the case. Yeah.
Right. Someone asked a good question. They said, if he got enough votes to be dropped, is it that much of a stretch to say he have enough votes to bring it up? So I think I probably didn't say this when I talked about it. I believe that previously it wasn't just a majority that was required to oust the speaker. I think it was a majority from the speaker's party, I believe.
Oh, really?
And so that would not.
So Democratic votes can't save him then?
No. Once the vote comes up, so I believe that under old rules, generally it'd be like you have to have a majority of your own party has to vote to bring the vote up in the first place. Once the vote goes out, everyone votes on it. But just to bring it up in the first place, you need to have a majority of your own party against you, as opposed to just one person. Because the way that the vote broke down now is that only 8 Republicans, including Matt Gaetz, only 8 Republicans voted to actually oust Matt Gaetz. 8 Republicans voted to oust McCarthy from being Speaker. Only 8 Republicans have.
Right.
The rest was all Democrats. 210 Democrats voted to oust Speaker McCarthy, and 208 Democrats voted to oust McCarthy, and 210 Republicans voted to keep McCarthy.
Right.
So that's what's kind of funny about this whole thing. This is all like, look at what Matt Gaetz did. Look at what Matt Gaetz did. It's Matt Gaetz teamed up with the Democrats. This is what no one's going to. It's funny. Matt Gaetz is not going to flip it this way. Matt Gaetz and the other 8 Republicans literally teamed up with the Democrats to remove McCarthy from being Speaker of the House.
Who is going to be Speaker now? Do we know?
No, we don't know. We have no clue.
Is Matt Gaetz going for Speaker of the House?
I doubt he would get enough. I doubt he would be able to.
Here we have this on CNN Politics 7 minutes ago. Republicans consider quitting bipartisan group after Democrats vote to oust McCarthy. Republicans on the Bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus are considering quitting the group en masse after Democratic members vote to oust Kevin McCarthy as Speaker, a GOP member said. Did you even know that there was a Bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus?
I did. So there you go.
Oh, you knew that? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's interesting.
I sent you a picture of the vote. You can bring it up too, just so people can see it. Okay. So that's what's going on. So McCarthy's out right now. Who knows who will replace him? I doubt it'll be Gaetz, because the overwhelming majority of Republicans were not in favor of this. So, and let's talk about the strategy here, because I feel like almost every single person on the left I've seen talk about this is so wrong, is completely backwards about everything on this topic. Completely. Okay. They're letting their emotions control them. And what I mean by that is, if you've ever talked to someone on the left, they hate McCarthy. They hate his guts. And they've been calling him,
as you can see from the Democratic vote, obviously.
Right. They've been calling him for months a wimp, a pushover, someone who's going to let the Matt Gaetz and the minority of Republicans walk all over him and control him, blah, 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 blah. Right. They've been saying this for months. And yet, as soon as McCarthy doesn't do that, as soon as he does stand up to the minority in his party and the crazy people he doesn't, agree with, that the Democrats don't agree with, by the way, those 8 people that the Democrats voted with, the Democrats hate those 8 people. They hate Matt Gaetz. They hate his guts. They hate him more than the other people in the Republican Party. But as soon as McCarthy stands up to these Republicans, which is what the Democrats would want, do the Democrats help McCarthy? Do they give him any sort of kudos? Do they actually reinforce the behavior of standing up to the crazy people in your party? No, of course not. Of course not. They just throw him right under the bus. It's so stupid.
Do they reinforce the behavior that they actually want?
No, they never do. It's what drives me crazy. And everyone does this. Everyone does this. They complain about how the other side is doing something that they don't like, but then they just keep reinforcing the behavior. They keep incentivizing the behavior. If the Democrats were serious about wanting people to stand up to the, quote, MAGA Republicans that are crazy, then they need to actually give them some incentive to do so. And this is the exact opposite. They've literally threw McCarthy under the bus for standing up to the crazy people in the Republican Party, or who they denote as the crazy people in the Republican Party. This is insane. McCarthy literally helped come up with compromises to work with the Democrats on both the debt ceiling and the budget, and the Democrats' response is to throw him under the bus. This is so stupid. This is so bafflingly stupid on every level. The Democrats in the House are the dumbest people in the entire country. This is so idiotic. Really, I get very triggered.
Give the background story so we understand why. Because you kind of have to know what went on with the budget fight.
Yeah. So, okay. So with the debt ceiling and with the budget fight, it's basically what happened was Matt Gaetz and these 8 Republicans, they wanted to have a debt ceiling crisis. They wanted to have a government shutdown crisis. And the rest of the Republicans don't. And the reason they don't, for just like cynical reasons, is because they believe that if the government has a government shutdown or there's a debt ceiling fight, that it's going to make the Republicans look bad.
Right,
because
to their constituents, who keep them in office.
Because historically, that's what has happened. Whenever there's a government shutdown or a debt ceiling fight, the Republicans get blamed, which makes sense because they're the ones usually pushing for it.
They get a bunch of calls from their constituents, from little old ladies that are going, "Oh, am I going to get my Social Security check? Oh my God, my son's a police officer. Is he going to get paid?"
Right. Yeah. Or people that work in the military that say they're not getting paid, or the Park Service, or I don't even know I don't know what happens at the border, because obviously that's a government job. I don't know what goes on with border security. If
I've had a vacation plan. I've had a vacation plan with my kids forever to go to the Washington Monument. It's not even going to be open.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right. And so the Republicans they don't actually want, like, they kind of want to like threaten that so that they get a concession, but they don't actually want it because they know that they'll get blamed.
Right. Yes. Okay.
So McCarthy and the rest of the Republicans in the House basically did their jobs, which is to come up with compromises with the Democrats that everyone can kind of live with, and passes these compromises, which is literally their job.
Well, they did. Look, they did throw a bunch of nonsense at the Democrats, and the Democrats were like, "Nah, we're not down with any of this." But at the last minute, Speaker McCarthy comes in and says, "Okay, look, here's a bill that I think you guys are going to like. We need to vote on it." This is when the Jamal Bowman thing happens, because they're like, "Look, we don't even have time to read the bill, and we don't trust you.
Pull the fire alarm."
Right, pull the fire alarm so we can at least have time to read the bill. So they read the bill, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is great. Sign me up," right?
Yes.
The Democrats are happy with it, but the Matt Gaetz and his people are like, "You gave the Democrats everything. Oh my God, you just bent over and took it."
Right.
So they're completely So they're completely angry about it. Go ahead.
Which is always the narrative. Whenever anyone compromises on anything, the extremes on both sides say, we hate this. You gave the other side everything. You didn't do everything that we wanted, so you just gave up. Like, that's always the framing of any of this nonsense.
Right.
So, but anyway, one of my biggest pet peeves, something that does anger me to no extent, is when people incentivize the terrible behavior that they're criticizing.
Oh yeah,
I just want to I just want to shake them and throw them into a river, because it's so stupid. It's like, you're such an idiot. You're just creating the very thing that all you do is whine about. And here it is. This is it. The Democrats and all the people who are criticizing McCarthy for not being strong and standing up to the minority in the party. Of course he's not. You know why he's not? Because you a-holes don't have his back. You're not going to defend him. And see, this is like the entire framing on this issue from day one shows how stupid and limited of imagination and intelligence a lot of our own sitting government representatives are. Because from day one, they said, when McCarthy agreed to this idea of any one person can bring forward a vote to try to kick him out. Okay.
Right.
All the news and all the Democrats said, "Oh my God, he's giving all the power to the crazies in his own party. What a loser." And none of them said, wait a minute. Did the Republicans just make such a colossal strategic blunder that they actually handed massive power to the Democrats in the House? Because what this means, and this is why the Democrats are stupid, what this meant was that if there were a minority of Republicans that did want to get rid of McCarthy, which they knew was going to happen, they knew something like this would happen, and it meant that suddenly the Democrats themselves are the people that controlled McCarthy's fate. The Democrats had all the power in this instant. Like McCarthy, this is why Matt Gaetz is actually an idiot. Okay, Matt Gaetz is literally an idiot, and he's just lucky. Matt Gaetz is lucky the Democrats are stupider than him, because if the Democrats were smart, they would say, oh my God, Matt Gaetz is the biggest idiot of all. He just gave us the keys to the power of the House, because Matt Gaetz is going to whine and complain, and he's going to try to get McCarthy kicked out, and the rest of the Republicans aren't going to go along with it, which means guess who's the swing vote that controls whether McCarthy retains power or not? It's the Democrats, baby.
208 Democrats become the swing vote for 8 Republicans.
Yes.
That's insane.
It is. And Matt Gaetz is such a dummy that he created the situation. And he's only just lucky that the Democrats were even dumber, that they didn't realize he created the situation. He created the golden, Matt Gaetz created the golden opportunity for the Democrats to have McCarthy over a barrel and say, listen, McCarthy, we'll protect you, but you have to give us stuff.
How do you know that they didn't do that, though? Because obviously, framing it this way, the Democrats have massive amounts of power going into this budget negotiation, and the Democrats basically did get whatever they want. How do you know that Democrats didn't say, listen, we're going to vote with the crazy Republicans if you don't give us a clean bill? And so that's why he gave him a clean bill. And then they screwed him over anyway.
But then why? Because then why would you kill your golden the goose that lays the golden eggs?
That's a good point. Right? Yeah.
So
this is.
I mean, you're right. They could have listened. They could have very well said that and then gone back on it and betrayed him. But there's just no tactical. There's no reason. There is a reason. I'll explain why they're doing this. It's really stupid. It's like baby brain, like 2-dimensional thinking. Maybe that's what happened. Their rationale is this, and it's so dumb. It's so horrifically short-sightedly stupid. Their thought process is, well, it looks really good to the Democrats if the Republicans are just fighting amongst each other and they can't actually get anything done. That's what we want. And it's like, okay, maybe that does help you a little bit, right? But you know what actually would help you? You know what actually helped the Democrats? It's why they're so effing stupid. It's making me side with Cenk here. The Democrats in power are so stupid, because what do you think would look better for the Democrats if the Republicans are all running around in the House, not being able to get anything done? Which, by the way, most of the Trump MAGA Republicans are going to look at this and they're going to be happy with McCarthy being gone. They're not going to be upset about it. So the idea that this is going to hurt the Republicans is stupid. A huge amount of Republicans are going to be happy if the Republicans can't get anything done, because they want the government to not do anything, number one.
Right, number that's the whole goal of the Republican Party.
Right. But number two...
Well, unless it's like build a wall or something.
Right. But number two, what would actually get people galvanized and motivated to vote for Democrats would be if the Democrats could say, listen, we're getting stuff done. Even when a Republican control the House, we're still getting things done. We're still able to do stuff. Okay. Look at all these things we're doing here. Look how awesome we are that we can do things even when Republicans control the House. That's so much of a better message to put out there. Number one, that's so much of a better message to put out there to get people to vote for them. And then number two, if again, as I said, if the Democrats actually want the Republicans as a party to stand up to the people that Democrats call the crazies, like the Matt Gaetz, then you have to actually incentivize them to do that.
Yeah.
So this incident triggers me to no end, because it's like the Democrats are not only just being stupid, but they're also creating the very thing they hate. And it's infuriating to me how stupid they are.
Yeah, getting policy done would always be a better move. So, but seeing the Republicans run around like idiots is like a second best for them, obviously. Yep, so,
but it's number one, it's lesser, and number two, it's actually the immoral move. You shouldn't the Democrats were happy, or they should have been happy. Maybe they weren't happy. Maybe they really did want a budget shutdown. Maybe they really did want the debt ceiling break because they thought it makes the Republicans look bad. Like, maybe it is that cynical. Maybe they're like, listen, we actually want someone like Matt Gaetz to be Speaker of the House because we want them to be even worse because they think it'll make them look bad. It could literally be that disgusting, right? That could be
they want a government
process.
Shutdown because they think it'll definitely kill them in the next election.
Right. That's definitely possible. Which I hadn't even considered until just this moment, which is, if that's true, that's horribly immoral and despicable. But if you're going to be moral, righteous people, you don't have the person who's helping you do the thing you're supposedly wanting to do, like pass a budget and not shut down the government, and then you turn around and you throw them under the bus and let them get run over. Like, it's just it's immoral and it's stupid on every level. I hate this. I hate that this happened. And a bunch of idiots are going to be jumping around on both the left and the right, are going to be jumping around cheering. It's like, no, oh my God, we're based, so based. Good job, Democrats. It's going to be like, oh my God.
Well, there's a bunch of nihilists who love to see stuff like this just because it's chaotic. But
well, listen, if people just like it because of that, they're not. I'm not even talking about them. That's just fine. If you just want to give up and say, ha, 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 chaos, I mean, okay, that's not what I'm talking about. It's not about people that actually like care about strategy and having a functioning government and things of that nature. But
well, I mean, they only passed a budget resolution for the next 45 days. So now they have to do this. Last time, look, it took weeks for them to get Kevin McCarthy approved because they had to do like 25 different rounds of votes and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. How's this going to be an easier fight?
So I only have two outcomes here. Either A, the Democrats are literally the stupidest people on the planet, which is possible, highly possible.
Look,
or
that's likely.
Or they are actually evil and immoral in terms of that they literally want the government to shut down because they think it'll help them in the election. So we are again at the impasse of stupid or evil. And I'm not sure which one it is, or I'm sure it's some combination of the two, because that's the only thing that makes sense here. It's the only possible motivation in my mind that makes sense here for what's actually going on. And I will bet you that you will not see the mainstream media lay out what's actually going on here. That there's the stupid or evil Democrats dynamic happening right here, and that's the only explanation. There's no other explanation for this.
Yeah. This is why you got to read the Dictator's Handbook. You remember the subtitle for Dictator's Handbook?
Yeah.
Why bad behavior is almost always good politics.
Well, yes, it depends.
It's so insidious.
Well, even this, I mean, again, like even the evil perspective is still stupid, because even if the goal is like, well, we want the Republicans to shut down the government 45 days from now, which they're more likely to do now. The Republicans are 100% more likely to shut down the government 45 days from now. That's what this is. That's what this does. Because now whoever replaces McCarthy is going to say, the Democrats are not going to help me. They're going to stab me in the back if I compromise with them at all.
Right. Yeah.
And so he has to listen. They're just making it so that whoever replaces McCarthy 100% has to listen to Matt Gaetz and these, 8 people.
Yeah, it has to be party line votes from here on out. Yeah.
There's like Matt Gaetz as the Joker and his 8 little henchmen are holding the entire Republican House hostage, and the Democrats are just sitting there eating popcorn, letting it happen because they don't care.
Yeah. You got any final thoughts on this?
Nope.
All right. Clip it, CT. Hi, you just listened to a clip from the Sitch and Adams show. If you like what you heard, you can listen to our live show right here on this channel on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you want, you can super chat us. We read $20 and up super chats on the show and then do a follow-up stream on the following Tuesday where we read the rest of the unread super chats and interact with fans of the show. Subscribe to this channel right here to listen to the live show or to listen to more of our awesome clips.